First of all, in Canada, they're starved for the sight of a good athlete. So Brett to them probably was a champion.
Okay.
And
that's not really true.
It is true. When Wayne Gretzky went away and all the good hockey players from Canada went into the United States, I mean, I'm being very sincere. I don't think you guys have any big name players right now.
We got a lot of big people in the WWE right now, but it's still not the same.
I'm talking about here inside.
I think you probably left some stuff out of the story.
But tell me.
The history of Bret Hart. Would you say that technically Bret Hart was a brilliant wrestler?
Yeah, what's that got to do with it? There are a lot of technically great wrestlers.
There's different kinds of stars, though, right?
There are stars. Stars are successful at every level. They draw big money in our business, right? Or they don't. They draw big quarter hours, or they don't. Believe me, if he had been drawing money, Vince would have never said, adios, please, go to WCW.
It was also, you have to agree that was a downtime in the industry.
Well, downtime or not.
They were getting their asses kicked by WCW.
It wasn't for us. So if they're getting their ass kicked by WCW, why did that Brett go?
Let me read you some reaction to Bret Hart regarding the things that you said. He emailed this to us because, you know, we know him through this show. He said, how can he say that he was any kind of draw compared to me? Many of the house shows and pay-per-views with me headlining were some of the biggest, and not just WrestleManias 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, SummerSlam 92, 82,000 people were there. Also, unlike the NWA or WCW, the WWF actually wrestled in front of real live people and not just chairs for most of my house shows.
Yeah, but first of all, I'm not saying I was a big draw in the WCW war against WWE. I wasn't factored into that equation. But I did wrestle against Bruiser Brody, Dick the Bruiser, Bubba, Antonio Inoki, Dory, Terry, Jack, Harley. Where's Brett in that equation? The greatest performers of all time. I've wrestled all of them and been sold out every night, from St. Louis to Dallas to Charlotte to Chicago. He had lived up there in New York and never came out of New York. And when he was a champion, if he was drawing big money, it wasn't reflective in the ratings. You mean he was on a pay-per-view that had 50 other guys on it? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Well, I guess
I'm telling you,
that he drove a lot of those pay-per-views in the crowd.
The WWE machine is made by Ms. McMahon. And so many guys are,
and no one's going to disagree with that.
Yeah, so many guys
absolutely
have made a lot of money and made a big name because they've been fortunate enough to be players in that commodity.
Are you pissed at Brett because he didn't do what he should have done in the Survivor Series in the end? That he betrayed the understanding, the code that you have, which is that he's supposed to do what he's told.
I'm not pissed at him at all.
Well, did you lose respect for him?
I did, yeah.
Because he didn't do what Vince told him?
Yeah. What I lost more respect for Brett is the fact that he whined about it for years. You know, and I said in the book, and this is something I feel bad about, but you know, this isn't just my take on it, and I'm sorry, Mike.
But you wrote the book, so you can't really say.
No, but I'm giving you my take, okay? But it was pretty well mutually conceived that when Owen died, which is a tragedy unto itself, any human death at any level, you know, it is a tragedy unto itself. It shouldn't be confused with, what the guy was doing for a living. It shouldn't be confused with how it happened. It's a tragedy of death. And of course, because we're under the magnifying glass, because it's wrestling, because he's an athlete, and because of the circumstances, it became bigger than life. But it was a tragedy. Nobody wanted that to happen. Nobody ever dreamed in their wildest dreams that he was a wonderful, wonderful young guy, great guy. But the minute it happened, man, up came Montreal again. I can document that for you if you want me to. I'll send you an email showing you that. There was a 3-page quote from Brett, and somebody sent me the day after Owen died. Owen's name was mentioned one time.
But why would you mention that, but don't you think that's really going to an area that you shouldn't go? Because why would you have to mention that? I mean, here's a guy who lost his brother, and you're pointing out the fact that you don't like his reaction to the death of his brother. Like, why do you have to mention that?
I don't know why I did. It's something that was on my mind. You know, I'll tell you, I felt bad for the McMahons. I mean, they had to be...
You felt bad for the McMahons?
I sure did, yeah.
Why?
Because you've made it such a personal issue.
But it was personal.
Well, personal between him and the McMahons? No, it would be personal between the loss of Owen to his family. I didn't hear anybody else in the Hart family going crazy. It just became personal with Brett
Don't
again.
forget also that there's only one guy in that family that has the pedestal that he has because of his fame, and therefore he was the guy who had microphones shoved underneath his face.
Let me put it like this, Mike. If tomorrow on Raw, I'm 55. I probably shouldn't be in the ring. I'm there by the grace of God. Somebody gives me a pile driver. I break my neck. I want my wife to walk on a Raw the next week. I want all 4 of my kids and my granddaughter, and I want all of them to say, my dad was the luckiest son of a bitch alive to be part of this show. And we love you. Thank you for every minute of life he had. That's how it's, that's